My name is Pete Thomas from PDT Safety and Park Fire Safety. I've been asked by NHHBA to do a short video on the considerations you should have for the health and safety of shower blocks after lockdown. So I'm just going to go through a few bits. I'm sorry it's a little bit rough and ready. It's on my mobile phone, but I'm on a park, so it seems like a good place to start. So I'm going to start with the laundrette, probably because it's the easiest place to start. I've seen a lot of posts on social media that say, well, we're going to keep the laundrette closed. I don't necessarily see a reason for that unless it's really complicated. Laundrettes have been considered essential all the way throughout lockdown, and they've been one of the things that have been opened. As you can see, we've left the door open to the building, and we'll open any windows as well to try and let as much ventilation into the building as possible. On the approach then, we've got the hand sanitizer station, and we'd be looking to erect some signage, just a reminder of social distancing, a reminder of the park rules around coronavirus, and a recommendation to use the hand sanitizer. As we walk in and we look at the laundrette, you'll see that it's quite a small room, and it's conducive to having a one-in, one-out policy. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to, but it's just a recommendation. If we're going to have a one-in, one-out policy, it's no good having someone doing the ironing for an hour. So what we've done is we've removed the ironing board. If someone really wants it, they can always come to reception, but it just makes the room more functional in terms of someone comes in, they put their washing in, set their timer, and then leave. In that note, you'd normally have like a book exchange, DVDs or puzzles. Again, we've removed those. Now, in terms of the deep clean, it's not necessarily legislative that we're looking at, but we're also placing a lot of importance on customer confidence. And our guests are going to expect these areas to be clean and disinfected. If this is full of books and DVDs, they're going to question whether we've actually done it. So we'll keep the area nice and clean, declutter it as much as possible, and hopefully that'll give that customer confidence. Okay, next we're going to look at the dishwash area. So not all dishwash areas are enclosed. Some of them are obviously outside or just undercover. But because this one is enclosed, you can see that this gap here is obviously a lot tighter than 1 meter. If someone were using that sink, there's no way someone would be able to walk past to use the other one. Therefore, the recommendation here, some nice signage, one in, one out policy, and that there's only one sink in use at a time. Now, we're not recommending you start taking sinks out, taps out. We're not sure how long this guidance is going to be in place for. But some simple signage, and we hope that guests will use their common sense. Now, you'll have to use your imagination here, but if this wall weren't here and there were to be a line of sinks, it's just a judgment call as to whether there's sufficient distance between each sink. If there were 3 in a bank here, and again this wall wasn't here, you could potentially put a sign on the middle sink to say, look, please don't use this sink, respect social distancing guidelines. And it's just a consideration, as I say, all parks are different, and it's something to think about. So we're in the shower block now itself. You'll probably catch me in the mirror there in my very smart work attire. And again, I do apologise for the music. It's on the radio. There's nothing I can do about it. As you can see though, this is a very large shower block. There is plenty of space here. But again, what we don't want is we don't want people congregating in here. We don't want them queuing up. So some simple instructions on the park rules, on the guidance when someone's booking in, or on the door itself. If we look outside, there is plenty of room to queue up if required. That said, it's something that we'd rather avoid, but it's going to be very, very difficult until we get the parks open to tell what's the right answer. Some of my clients are reducing occupancy. Ultimately, I know how difficult it's been for everyone, only working in this industry. It's been a really tough time during lockdown, and we're all keen to get open. But we wouldn't normally open the park on one day and expect it to be fully booked within the first hour. That's going to be really tough to manage. So a lot of parks are reducing their occupancy levels, and hopefully that will reduce the demand on things like the shower blocks. So let's have a look at the showers themselves then. The first thing is to consider the risk from Legionella. Taps are a lower transmission risk from Legionella, whereas showers would be considered quite a high risk of producing that aerosol that's going to get into someone's lungs. Now, if the water has been flushed regularly throughout lockdown and it's documented, you should be fine. But if it's been stagnant, we really need to flush that water out. So my recommendation would be to flush the taps first. Ultimately, the taps probably feed the shower as well. So it'd be flush the taps first for a good few minutes on each of the taps, and then look to flush the shower. Now, you can see these are the fixed shower head type. They're the ones that are really hard to clean. They look nice though, but really hard to clean. The other thing is, if they're the ones on the hose with the shower head, remove the shower head first and just put the hose in a plastic carrier bag. That will trap any aerosol that's going to be given off. Or you could do the same thing with that shower head there. Just place a plastic bag over it and that should allow you to drain it off. But ultimately, you want to try and drain the water out the taps first. So, in this shower block then, particularly nice I must say, the cubicles over here, they're all completely sealed. There's no way any water can get underneath if you see that. Whereas over the other side, we've got the showers where they've got the gap underneath and the water can effectively drain from one shower into another. And these tend to be the more common showers. Now, it has been raised already to me, well, surely if someone else has it and they wash, is it going to go off into the other shower? The truth is, I don't know. It doesn't sound like common sense to me at this stage, but there's no official guidance on it, so we don't know. But not only is it official guidance, this is about customer expectations, meeting that customer demand. And we hope that we're going to give our customers a good service, they're going to leave us a great review. And so what we're saying is, well, maybe shut off one of the showers, you know, the one in the middle, if you've got a block of 3, and just reduce that capacity. It's a consideration, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Finally, over here, you can see that we had a bank of hair dryers. There were chairs underneath, there were stools underneath. We really don't want people congregating in the shower blocks. We want people to avoid it as much as possible. And so what we've recommended is remove the hair dryers, remove all the stools. So anything that's unnecessary in terms of things that you would touch, you want to try and minimize or declutter the shower block as much as you can. That will leave your cleaning staff less to do on their deep cleans. Ultimately, we're probably looking to put an extra deep clean in as a minimum per day. And if they've got, 6 hair dryers, 6 extra stools, it's just more to clean. Same as the squeegees. We probably want to reduce it down so there's only 1 or 2. The nappy bins, I think in this shower block there's I think 3 different bins. Again, we need to try and reduce as much as we can in here. I hope that's helped. I hope that's given you something to think about. So as I say, not definitive guidance, but just things to consider. It's been a really tough season so far, and I just hope that's helped. If there's any other questions that you've got, please get in touch with NHHPA. They can reach out to me direct, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.